Can you hear me?
We will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based.
Hey Ranjeet, how you doing today?
We can hear you.
I think you're muted, sir. He might be having some technical difficulties right now.
Yeah.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I think there was some glitch actually, so absolutely. So let's start with the first question. What do we have
Yes,
today?
Certainly. So our featured question today, they ask, how can a startup professional demonstrate extraordinary ability for EB1A purposes when the company itself has not yet achieved widespread recognition?
I think it's a very interesting question. Actually, we had some couple of folks who had a similar participation in startup enterprises actually, and in fact, they haven't got a revenue also in this particular case. Now, I think it's an interesting question that why and how you can apply for EB1A based on these credentials. Number one is that your expertise is the core part here. Okay, and your past record of sustained acclaim is going to be something which is going to be very, very important actually here. And number two is that, okay, if you have a startup, it means that you would have got some funding or some grants and some kind of a, acclaim in one way or the other actually. So what is that? Can you talk about it actually? Are you a startup founder yourself or are you working in a startup? That also would make a difference. On what basis you were selected? And startup is a very close knit. Okay, I mean, what is it plans to achieve? What is the future of that? I mean, I think these all things will be put up together, and there is also a major differentiation that you will have to put in terms of whether are you a founder or are you kind of an employee there actually in that sense. So yes, it is very much possible in terms of even though you are a startup professional, how you can prove your extraordinary ability and apply. But I think we need more context to respond fully to this question.
Mm-hmm.
We need details. We need more, expertise. What kind of startup it is, what it plans to do. I mean, at one point of time, even ChatGPT was a startup. Let's understand that. It became popular in 2022 December. After that, I don't think people would have heard about that company in October and November 2022. And now today, it's one of the most valued companies in the world. So startups would not matter. What is it all about that you are trying to do? What solution to the problem you are offering to the world is more important here. So if you are able to do that, articulate it, definitely one could do it. So let's move to the next question.
Sure. So another anonymous aspirant asked, what distinguishes a strong piece of evidence from an approvable one in USCIS adjudication trends you've seen recently?
I mean, it's not about recent, it has been consistent. Let's talk about it. Distinguish a strong piece of evidence. What is a strong evidence? There are only three parameters to evaluate the strength of an evidence. Number one, it is credible. Number two, it is authentic. And number three, it is probative. That's it. So these are the three things that makes an evidence a quality of an evidence, and there are definitely certain evidence standards, better rules of evidence that it has to follow, and other matters which are there. But let's say, for example, when we talk about any letter that is being given, I think most of the people ask this question, which is a very common thing: a letter of recommendation. What you should give in a recommendation letter? What makes it credible? What makes it authentic, and what makes it probative? I think that's more deeper question actually here. Now, in that case, suppose somebody is giving a letter, then what is the locus of that person? How do you know that person for him to qualify you to give that letter? What are the metrics of that letter that demonstrate your extraordinary ability and your expertise and the benefit that the US might get? Okay, at the end, do you give the entire context? I mean, who is the person, his details, his communication channels? You need to give that everything in one shot. You can't just kind of let it go as it is. So if you are able to do that, then it makes sense actually. I mean, that is how one can distinguish between a strong piece of evidence for an approval one and something that is very weak. Or you just give a letter from your co-worker for your EB1A. That is definitely not going to stand the test of the scrutiny actually. Whether it is the credibility of that, or authenticity of that, or whether the probative value will be very less for this particular case. Okay, so let's move to the next question.
Yeah, absolutely. So our next question is from an anonymous user. They ask, how do you identify and position my true area of expertise so it aligns with national or international impact rather than just seniority or experience?
I think it's a bang-on question actually. It's not about your expertise is the core most important thing actually in your entire EB1A petition. If you ask me, I mean, more than the criteria, because if you may fulfill the criteria, but if your expertise is not aligned properly, you will not get your EB1A actually. Now, what we do is that we have a proprietorship done method where you have to define your expertise is the first part. We make you do certain exercises, Excel sheets, documentation that helps to connect all your past work to your kind of impact that you have created or how you do the work. I mean, the whole exercise of defining your expertise roughly takes, if I may say, almost 30 to 40 days. There are a lot of exercises one needs to do. Let me give you an illustration. Actually, there was one particular gentleman working with one of the logistics company, let's put it that way, and his job was to find the best route for the drivers. And he was in a software company, and his job was to kind of use certain skills, use certain satellite systems to identify the best route. And he was designated as software logistic professional, expert or whatever. Now, when we actually kind of defined his expertise for the purpose of EB1A, we realized it is a geospatial software engineer. He also had patents. He also had a lot of things to his credit, which we kind of utilized kind of in his petition, and he got his EB1A approved. Now, sometimes it is the way you do the work. Sometimes it is the impact that you have created also makes a difference. You may have worked in a different industry. So what are the common frameworks that you have used? If you are able to establish that, that will work actually. So we do have a certain, a very scientific process and mechanics to help you identify and position your true area of expertise, which we have seen. And not only that, there is also a way by virtue of which you can identify what would USCIS think about your expertise and based on some certain past cases. We can even look at that also. That would be my response to this. So let's move to the next question.
Absolutely. So the next question is, what is your strategy for building independent recognition, such as judging, peer review, expert roles, without creating a conflict of interest or red flags for USCIS?
I mean, strategy for building independent recognition. I mean, there are a lot of people who are looking for such opportunities and in a sense that are seeking professionals to help them, and we have to reach out to them. I mean, conflict of interest would come in here only if you solicit it. Actually, it is not done based on your expertise. It is based on your reference, or only solely based on that reference, not a professional reference. I think that is the only thing actually that I would say, that I think our students have been writing to people for peer reviewing or other things. Some people have to do more efforts, but unless and until one sits down and does it, it is not going to make a difference. And yes, I'm not very sure how would, I mean, is it about your own company or something like this? Then definitely it may not be accepted as a criteria. There are certain 1 or 2 AOA cases I know where the judging or interviewing people may fulfill the criteria, but definitely not final merit determination in that case. And I would the key important thing is that can we go beyond the scope of your organizations actually? That's the whole idea. Okay, so let's move to the next question.
Yeah, absolutely. So our next question, they ask, I was told that it isn't necessary to have a lawyer file my EB1A case. Is this true? Are there any benefits of self-filing?
I mean, it's a very trick question actually, because what are we trying to do here? Yes, you don't need a lawyer for anything for that matter. I mean, forget EB1A, for EB2, for EB3, for your naturalization, for your anything. Actually, you don't need a lawyer, but lawyers are supposed to be the best advocates, somebody who can stand for you, and you should seek a support if you are not aware of EB1A laws. I mean, that's what I would say. I mean, you need somebody to coach you, somebody to guide you, somebody to mentor you at times of various. Lawyer becomes can also serve as your sounding board at times if you have some ideas. I mean, that is a good way of doing, rather than saying that there is no advantage, and apart from you may try to save some cut corners, but it all depends on person to person and their individual capabilities and capacities actually. That's absolutely, I would like to say that. So let's move to the next question.
Yes. So the next question is, I have a quick question on the critical role criterion. I've heard that we cannot use the current organization's work for this section. It has to be the past organizations only. Is this correct?
I don't think so actually. Of course, we have to show your current organization because it shows your current stream of affairs actually. And you can show multiple, if you have created some impact by virtue of your expertise, you should definitely do that actually. So I don't think you saying that we cannot show the current organization works. No, why? Each and everybody in our program, we have 50 plus achievers, each and everyone have used their current roles and responsibilities, what are there, their skill set, they connected it to properly, and everybody got it actually. And I mean, I don't know from where it is I heard, I mean, from where are your sources coming? I mean, I would just like to be very mindful of it, that one needs to be very careful in these things, because there might be a lot of speculations and a lot of myths surrounding EB1A, which you might like to mitigate it. Okay? Yeah, so let's move to the next.
Absolutely. So our next one, they ask, for peer review, do you need to provide the certificates for the research work you reviewed, or do you need to show the email communication as well?
I mean, I would show everything actually. And even the work that you have done, that shows your entire credibility and seriousness and responsiveness. I mean, let's be very clear. So sometimes things are more, it is absolutely fine, but still you should be doing that. Let's take the last question now.
Yes, the last question is, how is salary criterion determined? Is it based on is it just base or base salary plus bonus and stock, or does it vary with the locations?
Absolutely. The whole idea is that you are not just drawing more than a little incrementally more than somebody actually. The word is significantly higher than your peers. I mean, that's the whole kind of an argument and logic that we use in this particular case. Now, ideally, it is a total compensation that you can show. It is not about your base or anything. So basically, what is the cost of your expertise to the unit, somebody paying you? So that enhances the value that somebody is ready to pay for you. That is more important here. And yes, you can use location as one of the metrics. I'm not sure if you can get a data regarding your age and your location with your metrics, but location is a fair idea actually, because it takes into account the cost of living structure also. The cost of living for Phoenix would be less than what is in New York or San Francisco, and things like that. So one needs to be very careful about it. So thank you very much, guys, for participation, and thank you, Mario, and thank you, Syria. I think there were wonderful questions, and guys, if you want to present your question, please tell us, and we'll be happy to take. And if you want to join the Next Lead program and become one of the elite EB1A achievers, please let us know. You can book time with us, with Mario, Syria, or me, and we will help you. And the link would be given below in the comment section. So wish you all the best and have a wonderful. Thank you for joining us today. If you have any further questions or need personalized guidance, please reach out to us. We are here to help you every step of the way in your journey towards achieving your American dream. Let's connect and make it happen together.